Heart attacks rarely give warnings. One moment you feel fine, the next your chest tightens, your arm tingles, and fear sets in. Now imagine this happening while you're completely alone. No family nearby, no neighbor to call out to, no one who even knows what's happening. For too many seniors, this isn't just a scary thought. It's reality. Every year, over 380,000 people suffer a heart attack while alone. And here's what's truly shocking. Medical research shows that what you do in the first 60 seconds can raise your survival chances by more than 70%. That single minute can decide whether you make it through the night or not. That's why today's video is so important. We're not talking about complicated medical procedures or myths you might read online. These are 7 practical, science-backed actions that anyone can do at home. Steps proven by top cardiologists and emergency medicine experts to keep you alive until paramedics arrive. Some are simple, others will surprise you, but each one buys you precious time. And the number one technique? It stunned even Harvard-trained doctors. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. What's your age and which city are you watching from? Whether you're in New York, London, Mumbai, Toronto, Sydney, Berlin, Paris, or Vancouver, drop it in the comments below. It's inspiring to see this community stretch across the world, reminding us that no matter where we live, we're all learning how to stay safer, stronger, and more prepared. When a heart attack strikes, seconds matter. The moment blood flow to your heart is blocked, oxygen to the brain begins to drop. In as little as 30 seconds, you may feel confused, disoriented, or too weak to even dial a phone number. Within minutes, heart muscle begins to die. That's why what you do right away can change everything. Here's the hard truth. Studies show nearly 9 out of 10 seniors don't know the correct steps to take when they're alone during a cardiac emergency. Many freeze. Others make mistakes, like lying flat or swallowing aspirin instead of chewing it. Those errors cost precious time, and time is exactly what you can't afford to lose. But there's good news. Research from Harvard Medical School, Johns Hopkins, and the Mayo Clinic proves that knowing a handful of simple, evidence-based actions can dramatically improve your survival odds. These techniques don't replace medical care. You still need paramedics in a hospital, but they give you something invaluable. Time. Time to keep oxygen moving, time to stay conscious, and time for help to arrive. And the best part? These strategies don't require fancy equipment or medical training. They're small, practical steps you can learn today and rely on when you need them most. Over the next few minutes, we'll go through 7 life-saving actions every senior should know. And trust me, when we get to number 1, you'll understand why even top cardiologists were astonished by how powerful it is. Tip 7. Build your emergency communication system. It may sound simple, almost obvious, but having a proper emergency communication system can mean the difference between life and death. When a heart attack strikes, your brain begins losing oxygen within seconds. Confusion sets in, your hands may shake, and suddenly even remembering your own address or dialing 3 numbers feels impossible. That's why the system must be set up in advance, so you don't rely on memory when it matters most. Start with visibility. Write your complete address and phone number on a bright index card. Add any apartment number, entry code, or directions paramedics would need. Tape one card next to every phone in the house and another by the front door. In the fog of panic, being able to read instead of recall could save precious minutes. Next, program 911 as speed dial 1 on every phone, cell and landline. Yes, it's only 3 numbers, but research shows oxygen loss affects coordination almost immediately. One button is easier than fumbling with 3. And if you're outside the United States, use your own country's emergency number, whether that's 999 in the UK, 112 across much of Europe, or 000 in Australia. Keep your cell phone within arm's reach at night. Too many seniors charge it across the room, out of reach during the hours when nearly half of fatal heart attacks occur. Make it a nightly habit to place the phone by your bedside, fully charged. If you live alone, invest in a medical alert device and wear it constantly, even in the shower. Studies show nearly 1/3 of seniors who own devices weren't wearing them during their event. A pendant on the nightstand is useless. A waterproof one on your wrist can save your life. Extend your safety net. Tell a trusted neighbor or building staff about your condition. Give a spare key to someone reliable, or install a small lockbox by your front door. In apartments, alert the doorman or manager so paramedics can be guided to the right unit immediately. Now imagine the reality. Your chest tightens, your hand trembles, and your vision blurs. Instead of panicking, you glance at the card with your address, press one button, and help is on the way. Your door is accessible, your alert device is on, and your neighbors know what to do. What could have been chaos becomes a clear sequence of steps. That is the power of preparation. A strong communication system doesn't just connect you to paramedics, it buys you the one thing you need most in a heart emergency: time. Tip 6. Master the cough CPR technique. This next method has sparked plenty of debate over the years. Some experts dismiss it, others strongly support it. But when performed correctly, cough CPR, also known as cough resuscitation, can give you the extra time you need to survive until help arrives. Think of it as a last-ditch tool, not a cure. Here's how it works. At the very first sign of heart attack symptoms, before you lose consciousness, take the deepest breath you can, filling your lungs completely. Then give a strong, forceful cough, one that comes from your diaphragm, not just your throat. Repeat the cycle every 2 seconds. Breathe in deeply, cough hard, breathe in deeply, cough hard. The rhythm should be steady, almost mechanical. Why does this matter? Each deep breath pulls oxygen into your lungs, while each cough compresses your chest and squeezes the heart, forcing blood to keep circulating. In a sense, it's like manually pumping your own heart when it's not doing its job properly. A study from Peking Union Medical College followed 240 patients taught this method. Those who used it correctly stayed conscious an average of 92 seconds longer than those who didn't. That may not sound like much, but in those extra seconds, you can dial your emergency number, unlock the door, or get to your medication, and those actions can be life-saving. Now here's the warning. Cough CPR doesn't work in every case. It's only useful for certain abnormal rhythms, and it's not a replacement for calling emergency services. If your arteries are fully blocked, coughing won't clear them. Use this only while you're still conscious and only as a bridge until professional help arrives. That's why it's so important to practice the technique now while you're calm. Don't wait until your chest is tight and your vision is blurry. You won't have time to figure it out then. Run through the rhythm a few times. Inhale deeply, cough hard, repeat. Make it muscle memory. If this video is helping you, hit the like button so more seniors in cities like New York, London, Mumbai, Toronto, or Sydney can discover it. And subscribe. New senior health tips are coming every week. Tip 5. The correct aspirin protocol. Almost everyone has heard about aspirin being linked to heart health. But here's the surprising part. Most people don't actually know how to use it correctly in an emergency. Knowing the difference between taking it the right way versus the wrong way can literally change the outcome of a heart attack. First, let's talk about what aspirin does. During a heart attack, blood flow to part of the heart muscle is blocked, often by a clot forming in a coronary artery. Aspirin works by making your blood less sticky. It doesn't dissolve the clot completely, but it stops it from growing larger and allows some blood to keep squeezing past. That little bit of flow can be the difference between minor damage and life-threatening injury. Now here's what most people get wrong. They swallow aspirin whole. Research shows that this slows down how quickly the medication can enter your bloodstream. A landmark report from the Harvard Heart Letter and a major study in The Lancet involving over 17,000 heart attack patients found that chewing aspirin works up to 50% faster than swallowing. Chewed aspirin reaches effective levels in the blood in about 14 minutes compared to 26 minutes if swallowed. That 12-minute gap may sound small, but when your heart muscle is starving for oxygen, those minutes matter enormously. Here's the correct step-by-step protocol. At the very first sign of a heart attack, chew, not swallow, 1 regular 325 milligrams aspirin tablet. If you only have baby aspirin, chew 4 of them. Always keep uncoated aspirin handy, in your house, your car, your wallet, and your purse. Check expiration dates every 6 months and replace as needed. It's also important to note that your daily low-dose aspirin, often 81 milligrams, doesn't count here. That amount is for prevention, not for an emergency event. You still need the larger chewable dose when symptoms strike. A few warnings. If you're allergic to aspirin, obviously don't take it. And if you're on blood thinners such as warfarin, talk to your doctor ahead of time about whether you should use aspirin in an emergency. Real-life application? Picture this. Chest pain strikes, you chew the aspirin immediately, and while paramedics are on their way, you've already slowed the damage. Those 12 minutes you gained may protect heart muscle, preserve function, and save your life. Tip 4. The cardiac position. Your body position during a heart attack may seem like a small detail, but it can literally extend survival. Too often, the instinct is to lie flat on your back. Unfortunately, that position can actually make things worse. When you're flat, blood has a harder time returning to the heart, your lungs can't expand fully, and oxygen levels drop more quickly. Instead, experts recommend what's known as the cardiac position. Sit upright at about a 45-degree angle, propped against a wall, pillows, or the back of a sturdy chair. Bend your knees and keep your feet flat on the floor. This posture eases the workload on your heart, reduces fluid buildup in the lungs, and allows you to breathe more easily. The European Resuscitation Council highlights this as one of the simplest yet most effective ways to stabilize circulation during cardiac distress. The benefits are measurable. Studies show that patients who assumed this upright position maintained oxygen saturation and blood pressure significantly longer than those lying flat. In fact, the difference could buy you several critical minutes, enough time for emergency responders to reach you. But what if you feel faint or dizziness begins to take over? That's when you should carefully shift to the recovery position. Lie on your side, with one knee bent for stability, keeping your airway clear. This reduces the risk of choking if you vomit, which happens in nearly a third of heart attacks. There are other small adjustments that can help too. Loosen tight clothing, unbuckle belts, unbutton collars, remove scarves or ties. Believe it or not, studies have shown that something as simple as loosening a belt can improve blood oxygen levels by up to 8% during cardiac stress. Keep the environment cool but not cold. If you're sweating heavily, don't pile on blankets. Instead, crack a window for fresh air. Overheating forces your heart to work harder, which is the last thing you want. Now picture this in real life. Chest pain strikes, panic rises, and you fight the urge to collapse backward. Instead, you sit up against the couch, knees bent, belt loosened, breathing more steadily. Oxygen flows a little easier, your heart strains a little less. These simple adjustments don't cure the attack, but they buy time. Time for aspirin to take effect, time for nitroglycerin to work, and time for paramedics to arrive. The cardiac position proves that even small, deliberate actions in a crisis can make a life-saving difference. Tip 3. Controlled breathing method. One of the most dangerous things that happens during a heart attack isn't just the blocked artery, it's panic. When fear takes over, your body responds with rapid, shallow breathing. This fight-or-flight response starves your heart and brain of oxygen even faster, which can worsen the damage. But here's the good news. Controlled breathing is a tool you already carry with you, and when used correctly, it can buy you critical time. Here's the step-by-step method. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, filling your lungs deeply. Hold that breath gently for a count of 4. Then exhale slowly through pursed lips for a count of 6, as if you were blowing out birthday candles in slow motion. The long exhale is key. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which slows your heart rate and lowers oxygen demand on your heart muscle. Think of it as flipping a switch. Your body moves from panic mode to a calmer, energy-conserving state. Each cycle of breath helps your heart do less work while keeping oxygen flowing where it matters most. This isn't just theory. A Stanford University Medical Center study found that patients who practiced this style of breathing during a cardiac event suffered 45% less heart muscle damage compared to those who hyperventilated. The Mayo Clinic reported that controlled breathing can lower heart rate by 10 to 15 beats per minute and reduce blood pressure within minutes. Those are measurable, life-saving differences. A practical way to ensure you're doing it correctly is to place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. The hand on your belly should rise more than the one on your chest. If your chest is moving more, you're still shallow breathing. Practice until the movement comes from your diaphragm. Imagine the real-life scenario. You feel chest pain and panic rises. Instead of gasping, you begin this rhythm. 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out. Your breath slow, your mind steadies, oxygen continues to flow, and you remain alert long enough to chew aspirin, call for help, or use your nitroglycerin. Here's the key. Don't wait until you're in distress to learn it. Practice nightly. Just 5 minutes before bed can make this technique second nature. Then, when crisis comes, your body already knows the pattern. Breathing may seem small, but in the middle of a heart attack, it's a lifeline. It doesn't replace treatment, but it keeps you calm, conscious, and alive until help arrives. Tip 2. Emergency door unlock and signal protocol. It may sound unbelievable, but every year thousands of seniors die not because paramedics arrive too late, but because they arrive and can't get inside. A locked door can cost 10 minutes or more, and during a heart attack those minutes are fatal. In fact, research published in the Journal of Emergency Medical Services found that locked doors delayed treatment by an average of 11 minutes, with more than a third of cardiac deaths in seniors linked to responders being unable to reach the patient in time. That's why your very first action when symptoms strike, before dialing, before sitting down, should be to unlock your front door. While you still have strength and coordination, walk to the door, unlock it, and if possible, leave it slightly ajar. Once you collapse, you won't be able to get back up. Here are the steps to take now before an emergency ever happens. Install a lockbox with a spare key outside your home and give the code to your local fire department. Many departments will register it so paramedics can access it instantly. Studies show this reduces entry time by up to 8 minutes. Turn on every light you can reach as soon as symptoms begin. At night, a brightly lit house helps responders identify your address quickly. During the day, hang a bright towel or object from your front door or window so your home stands out. If you live in an apartment or high-rise, call the front desk or security after dialing 911. Tell them to expect paramedics and guide them to your exact unit. This simple step can cut search time by several minutes. Keep a whistle on your keychain and another by your bedside. Even if you're too weak to speak, a few sharp blasts can guide rescuers to you. Tape an emergency information sheet to the inside of your front door at eye level. List your name, medications, allergies, and conditions. The American College of Emergency Physicians found that visible info cut treatment delays by 26%. Now picture the opposite. Paramedics arrive, sirens blaring, but the door is locked. They spend 10 minutes trying to force it open while you're inside, fading. Compare that to the scenario where the door is already open, lights are blazing, your information sheet is posted, and within seconds, they're at your side starting treatment. In a crisis, preparation isn't about convenience, it's about survival. Don't let a locked door stand between you and the care that could save your life. Tip 1. Immediate nitroglycerin protocol. We've saved the most powerful tip for last, and it's one that has even surprised seasoned cardiologists. Used correctly, nitroglycerin can stop a heart attack from escalating and dramatically improve your odds of survival. Researchers at Harvard Medical School and a large-scale study in the British Medical Journal found that patients who used nitroglycerin within the first 3 minutes of symptoms had up to a 35% lower mortality rate and 50% less heart muscle damage compared to those who waited. Those numbers are nothing short of remarkable. So how does it work? Nitroglycerin rapidly dilates blood vessels, which reduces the workload on your heart and improves blood flow through partially blocked arteries. In plain terms, it helps relieve the crushing pressure on your heart while buying critical time for emergency help to arrive. Here's the correct step-by-step protocol. 1. Sit down first. Never take nitroglycerin while standing. Your blood pressure may drop suddenly, and you could faint. 2. Place 1 tablet under your tongue. Don't swallow it. Allow it to dissolve fully so the medication can enter your bloodstream quickly. 3. Wait 5 minutes. If symptoms don't improve, take a second tablet. 4. After another 5 minutes, you may take a third. Never exceed 3 tablets in 15 minutes. 5. If you can, chew an aspirin first before taking nitroglycerin. The combination of aspirin thinning the blood and nitroglycerin widening the vessels provides maximum benefit. Now, the warnings. Never take nitroglycerin if you've used erectile dysfunction medications such as Viagra or Cialis within the past 24 to 48 hours. The combination can cause a fatal drop in blood pressure. And if you're unsure, tell paramedics exactly what medications you're on. Carry a card in your wallet listing them. Storage is just as important as usage. Nitroglycerin is highly sensitive to air, light, and heat. Always keep it in the original amber glass bottle, never transferred into a pillbox or plastic bag. Replace it every 6 months, even if you haven't used it. A fresh tablet should cause a slight tingling or burning sensation under your tongue. That's how you know it's working. Keep bottles in multiple places: your nightstand, purse or wallet, kitchen, and car. Avoid the bathroom or glove compartment where heat and humidity can weaken it. Picture this moment. Crushing chest pain strikes, you sit down, place a tablet under your tongue, and within seconds, blood begins to flow more freely. You've just given yourself a fighting chance, the same advantage as if a paramedic were already at your side. That's why nitroglycerin is the #1 life-saving step. Simple, fast, and when used correctly, it can make the ultimate difference. You've now learned 7 life-saving techniques that could keep you alive if a heart attack strikes when you're alone. From building a simple emergency communication system, to mastering cough CPR, to chewing aspirin the right way, positioning your body correctly, controlling your breathing, unlocking your door for paramedics, and finally, using nitroglycerin safely and effectively, each one buys you something priceless. Time. Remember, none of these steps replace professional care. Paramedics, hospitals, and doctors are still the ultimate lifeline. But the reality is that emergency response times average 8 to 12 minutes, and during those minutes, your actions can determine the outcome. These strategies aren't about doing everything perfectly. They're about staying conscious, keeping oxygen flowing, and giving yourself the best possible chance until help walks through the door. And here's the empowering truth. Every one of these actions is simple. They don't require medical training or special equipment. What they do require is preparation. Practice controlled breathing for a few minutes each night. Check your aspirin and nitroglycerin supplies every month. Post your address by every phone, and make sure your door can be opened quickly. These habits may feel small now, but in a crisis, they could mean everything. Knowledge plus practice equals survival. That's the formula. The more familiar you are with these steps today, the calmer and more effective you'll be tomorrow if the unthinkable happens. Now it's your turn. Which of these techniques will you practice tonight? And tell us, what's your age and which city are you watching from? We love hearing from seniors in places like New York, London, Mumbai, Toronto, Paris, Berlin, Vancouver, and Sydney. Your story might just inspire someone else to prepare and to survive.